weather is honestly so crazy. In the time that it has literally taken me to make my morning coffee, it has gone from hammering it down with rain outside to bright sunshine. I cannot tell you how much autumn weather is autumning right now, especially for here in the UK. We are so used to all weather types of days at this time of year. And I have to say, I'm not actually mad about it because I am very cozy at home day plan. So whether it's sunny, it's lovely. Whether it's raining, I don't even think I'm going to be crossing up the threshold of that front door. And there is nothing that makes me happier. But good morning, Mon Petit, and welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to preface this vlog and say, if you like cozy, at home, very interior focused vlogs, I think you are going to love this weekly vlog because we have a lot of exciting things happening at the house, and I just love this time of year for all of the interior updates. When you start looking at those kind of renovation plans, you start thinking about the styling, the decorating, and making a few tweaks and changes here and there. Although one thing, I won't lie, I am not loving about this time of year is the fact that for the first time this morning, I had to put on my Lumi light because it is officially still dark at 6:30 a.m. And if you don't know what the Lumi lights are, I have been raving about them for years, and it's so funny because I know so many people that thought it was such a gimmick, that thought it was such a waste of time, that if especially you suffer with SAD like I do, seasonal affective disorder, or even if you just really struggle getting out of bed in the morning, especially when it's dark outside, the Lumi light makes the biggest difference. It basically wakes you up like a sunrise, although because I've not used it for literally the entirety of summer and I've been very used to waking up to daylight, it was a little bit of a shock to the system this morning. I was really not sure where I was, who I was, what year it was, but you know what? We just have to roll with it. It's one of the things that we have to take with this time of year. We get the lovely cozy weather, but we also get the darker mornings, the darker evenings, and weather like this that we have to deal with. But I'm not gonna lie, I am desperate to light some of my favorite candles, get cozy today, and just snuggle down. And I have actually had a rather exciting new delivery. Oh, that is not the logo. A rather exciting new delivery from Jo Loves, who I feel like is just the queen of fragrance. If you don't know Jo Loves, it is the brand that has been created by Jo Malone herself. She sold Jo Malone, I think maybe like 15 years ago, to Estee Lauder, and then actually created her own brand. And I cannot tell you how talented she is. She just has a nose like nobody else and creates the most amazing scents. So this is her latest creation, her latest scents. Oh, this is so lovely. It says here, with each Jo Loves fragrance, I am telling you stories of my life, moments and memories that I love. I hope you'll create your own scent stories and share them with us. I have to say, I think scent is probably one of the most like nostalgic senses. Like, you know, when you smell something, you get instantly taken back to like a holiday you took when you were about 8 years old, or you know, you remember your parents' house that you used to live in. It's just so mad how much your memory is like connected to fragrances. And I love, especially with each season and each time of year, just really like connecting it to a specific fragrance. So this is Maison de Jazz, a candle that plays to the rhythm of pure luxury. Hang on a second. Oh my gosh, they've literally put a record in here. I wonder if that actually works. I'm gonna have to try that in Alex's record player upstairs. I bet that is literally like a jazz Spotify playlist. I wonder if you're supposed to scan that and play it on Spotify. This is amazing, and I love here. Oh, hang on, side A and side B. This literally is, oh my God, a working record. That is absolutely insane. I'm definitely going to have to try that out. But the hero of the moment, the thing that I have been desperate to unbox and light today, is the new candle. This is the Maison de Jazz candle. Oh my gosh, all I have done is literally take the plastic wrap off of this box, and already I can smell it. That is incredible. Can we also just talk about this packaging? How beautiful is that? If you know someone who is an autumn baby that has a birthday coming up, I feel like this would just make such an incredible birthday present. So the notes in this are basically a combination of two of Jo Loves' most incredible fragrances. We have here amber, lime and bergamot, layered with black cashmere and tonka. And I have the black cashmere and tonka fragrance upstairs, and it is literally my winter fragrance, my winter perfume that I absolutely adore. So it says here it is a layered candle, which I honestly just think is absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh, and just look at that design. How stunning is that? I'm so in love with the pattern. That is the most autumnal candle I have ever seen, I have ever smelt. Oh, I don't think I could be any more in love with this. We are definitely going to have to light this because all I want to do is now just fill this room with this scent. That is honestly just incredible. If you like either of these two fragrances, I never would have thought to have like put them together. Only Jo Malone herself would be able to do something like that because she is so brazen with her pioneering towards scents and fragrances. She's just an absolute icon in the fragrance industry for a reason. Oh my gosh, I can't stop smelling that. That is absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh, with that burning and filling the kitchen with the most incredible scent, the sun now streaming through. This feels very September, where it's been raining like all morning and then suddenly the sun appears and it just feels so fresh and autumnal. It feels really like New Year's-esque, which I really love. I've brought my laptop downstairs and I'm going to do a little bit of work in the kitchen. I find about 9 out of 10 times I'm usually in my little Nancy Meyer's office working away up there, but sometimes I just really love to bring my laptop downstairs and work in like different areas of the house. Does anybody else do that? I think it's really nice just to switch it up a little bit, and especially with that scent burning. Oh my goodness me. And actually it's a really good spot to do a little bit of work because I need to do a little bit of admin ahead of a very exciting delivery that is coming tomorrow, and I cannot believe how quickly this has come. Whenever it comes to furniture pieces, if you've ever like redesigned a house or just like bought furniture for a flat or a home or anything like that, you'll probably know that lead times can be ridiculous. So the fact that this has literally come in 2 days, I ordered it yesterday, 2 days, I honestly cannot fathom. And I need to show you a little bit of a mood board actually. Let's get the mood board out because I love a mood board, mainly because I have a fiance who cannot visualize things himself. I feel like you either can or you can't. I'm the visualizer. I'm the one that like plans things. I'm the one that decorates things. I am like the interior designer of the relationship. I basically come up with the idea and then usually I leave Alex to execute it. He's very good at DIY. We literally call him DIY Al because he is amazing at it actually. Like he just watches a YouTube video and suddenly he can do it. So he's a very visual learner. So whenever I kind of like audibly describe what I'm going to do, 9 out of 10 times he'll turn to me and go, oh, I don't really think that's gonna work. I don't really know how I feel about that. And sometimes I'll just go ahead and do it. I'll say to him, just trust me. Because I've never done anything that he doesn't like this actual area in the kitchen, my little Limewood-esque area, he was totally against. And it's so funny because I remember him saying to me that it's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Who puts armchairs in a kitchen? And actually, this is probably our favorite and most of our guests' favorite area in the house. It just makes the kitchen so much more livable. We sit here every single morning, we have our morning coffee, I have my tea, we have a little bit of a chat about the day. If we're just having like a quick lunch or a quick dinner where we don't want to be at the dining table, but you don't necessarily want to be like on the sofa in front of the TV, this is just the perfect place. Stick the radio on, just have a little bit of a chat. It is so, so lovely. So sometimes I'll just go ahead and do it. But most of the time I'll create a mood board just to help him with the visualization of things and just to show him how the kind of vibe is going to look, how the end result will hopefully be. So this is a little bit of a mood board for the living room because I've been wanting to change things up for the longest time. So do you know what? I'm actually just going to pop a photo here instead of holding up my phone because you're probably going to see it a lot better there. But we are going to be switching out some of the furniture in the living room. And this is something that I feel like I've really learned as well from moving homes, like moving houses, because the sofa that we have at the moment, I actually bought obviously with the intention of it being in our old house. And in our old house, the kitchen was a lot more modern. It was a lot more kind of like open plan. Like we do have an open plan space down here in this house, but it's a little bit more kind of like segmented, which I really like actually. The best way to describe it, like everything has its own area, its own room, its own space. And I really struggled with that in the old house actually, is how we just ended up living in one room. I didn't like that. I love having a little bit more of like a separation, a segregation to the rooms. So the sofa was actually bought with the old house in mind and it fit so perfectly. It was just the ideal sofa. But ever since we moved here, the second we put it in, I just found it a little bit too overbearing in that space. It's a little bit too modern for my liking as well. This house is a 1930s farmhouse style home and I very much lean into that. I feel like it is really important to just kind of like respect the heritage of the house. And as much as obviously you don't want your house to tell you how to like style it and how to like decorate it, I think it's really nice to just lean into those moments. So I really wanted something a little bit more, what's the word? heritage, I think is the best word to describe it. A little bit more heritage. That was a little bit more of like a sofa set and just kind of worked in the living room a little bit better. So we have a new sofa delivery arriving tomorrow, and honestly I am so excited. So what I need to do today actually is just clear out a little bit of the space. You can obviously see on the mood board everything that I've kind of got in there already. We've got the dark shutters, we've got the lamp, we've got the radiator cover behind, the rug, the coffee table. Obviously 99% of it is going to be staying. All that we're going to be saying goodbye to is the sofa, which I am a little bit sad to say goodbye to it because it's very comfy and it's a really, really lovely sofa, but my brother and his girlfriend are actually taking it off of our hands. So we'll still be able to sit on it fairly regularly. We'll still be able to see it. It's going to go to a really, really good home. But for now, we can start getting really excited for the new updates, the new switch up in the living room, and just really bring that space to life more, because I feel like ever since we moved over a year and a half ago, it's just been kind of like making do with what we had before. And obviously that's what everybody does when they move house. They just go with the furniture that they had before. But I think it's really lovely, especially in something that's more your kind of forever home, just to really lean into the heritage of the house and just to really make it your own. So I am so, so excited for that delivery. So I have a little bit of work to do ahead of the delivery for tomorrow, a little bit of clearing out to do. I think I really just want to like restart with that space again as well, and just fill it with everything that I absolutely love. It's been looking a little bit busy recently, and I don't want it to be a space that feels overcrowded. I always feel like my interior style is like lived in, but I never want it to look claustrophobic or just too much. And I'm actually working with Sofa Club over on Instagram, so I have absolutely no obligation to show you guys the sofas here on YouTube, but of course I had to document the process, had to document the home renovation updates, because I feel like now is just the perfect time ahead of cozy season to just perfect our living room and get it to a point where I am really, really happy. Well, it is a couple of days later now, and I cannot get over the transformation that this room has seen. I cannot get over the sunshine that is coming in right now and blinding me ever so slightly, but sofas are in. They are in situ, and I am indeed sitting on my new Bloomsbury sofa from Sofa Club, and I cannot get over how cozy, how comfy this sofa is. They look so classic, so heritage, and yet are the perfect snuggle up and watch a movie kind of a sofa. I've basically spent the last couple of days titivating, pottering, styling, getting the room to the point that it is now, because it has had actually quite a big switch up, which I wasn't anticipating, I wasn't really planning, but I did a bit of a Marie Kondo where I decided just to take everything out of the room and start again. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of reminded me of when I was a kid, because I was that child that loved changing up my bedroom. I probably moved my bedroom around at least once a month, when my bed would be under my window. Then I decided I didn't want it under my window, so then it would go to the other side of the room. Then I decided that was too close to the radiator, so I went in the middle of the room. My poor parents, at least once a month, would usually come home and find me moving something around in my room. In fact, my mum will always remember this one time. I think I must have been maybe like 13 or 14 years old, a young teen. And I basically just decided I didn't want my bookshelves anymore. These huge, massive bookshelves, and my mum came home from work to find them downstairs in the hallway. I had somehow managed to shimmy them down the stairs. Literally, I think I was like sliding on my bum downstairs with these shelves. And she asked me what I was planning on doing with them. She was like, what are these doing here? And I just turned around and went, well, I don't know, but I don't want them in my room anymore. So it's safe to say that she marched them back upstairs with me and told me to put them back in my room, but I was always that child. So I feel like I have like a different kind of strength when it comes to furniture moving. Alex is usually obviously the heavy lifter in this relationship, but whenever it comes to like shuffling sofas, moving beds, moving furniture around, I seem to find like an inner strength that I didn't know I had. But I must say the delivery guys were absolutely incredible. They were so fabulous with the installation, got it all set up, and I cannot believe how simply it arrived. It was literally in just 3 boxes, 3 giant boxes, and they did an amazing job of assembling so that I could basically just do the fun job of fluffing, styling, and getting it looking pretty. So I need to show you how this room has been transformed. The new Bloomsbury sofas I could not be more in love with. Oh my goodness me, I actually need to get so far back for you to be able to see the sofas both in frame, both in situ, but here they are in all of their glory. This is where I was just sitting chatting to you guys with the sun streaming in beautifully through the blinds. I cannot believe the difference it has made in this room. How actually adding more furniture has opened up the space. Let me see if I can get a little bit further back actually, so you can really see the entirety of the living room. I literally need to get into the dining room for you to be able to see it. But what I will do actually is pop a little photo on the screen so you can see what it looked like before, because what a difference it makes having this more open with regards to the space. We used to have like an L-shaped sofa here, and then we had this little poof underneath the window in the bay, and we were really wanting for the longest time to add a little love seat in that bay and basically utilize the area a little bit more, because it felt like such a waste of space. And it's insane how much this has opened up the space, and I think how much better this is going to be for hosting, because whenever we used to have friends over, whenever we used to have family over, we never found anyone actually gravitated towards the living room. And I think it was because it was literally just so blocked off by the little chaise longue on the old sofa that nobody really felt like they could move from like the kitchen table over into the living room. It just felt like it was quite blocked off and not very hosting appropriate, whereas this I feel like has opened it up so much more, has given so much more space. We have so many more like seating areas that people can gravitate towards, and especially with how much we love hosting our friends and family, this house is a hosting house, and I feel like this living room is now so reflective of that. So I've just been styling it up and I'm really happy with how it's looking. So I've got my coffee table in the middle. This I get so many questions about. It was really old from Next Home. I think I bought it about 3 or 4 years ago, but I've actually seen that Dunelm have just released an almost identical one. So I'll leave that linked down below if you do want to shop it. And I've just styled it up with some of my favorite accessories. I always like to have like a little tissue box. I get these tissue box covers from Neptune, and I really like how much it kind of hides the tissue box but makes it more of like a feature. And I have a lot of tissues around the house because I have a fiance that has severe allergies, so he always needs them. I've then styled up with this little artichoke, which I absolutely adore, from Neptune. This is so beautiful. I got this for Christmas from my mum last year with a couple of coffee table books. And I always like to have a little tray. This is actually from the White Company, but matches so well with the Neptune tissue box. So I've just got some, again, Neptune coasters. I always love to have marble coasters that everyone can just reach for. We keep the remotes in there, and then a little candle just so that we can light that in the evenings. I will also obviously leave the Bloomsbury set linked down below at Sofa Club. So we have the large sofa, and then we also have the love seat. And when I say this is a love seat, this is the largest love seat I think I have ever laid my eyes on. We always wanted to do like a little cozy love seat in that bay. We knew that it would just work so well. But this I would say is more of a 2-person sofa, and this is about a 4-person sofa. You can easily fit really comfortably 4 people along it here, and I love how it looks styled up with the green tones, the brown tones, the real like earthiness that I had before. So cushion wise, these are actually from M&S Home. I get a lot of compliments on these, and they are so affordable. They do loads of different colors of these with the like fringing, but I really love this like really deep dark mossy green, and I've just styled them up with these gorgeous little Laura Ashley Home cushions, which I love. They have this really lovely like sage green at the back, and they are so soft. And I am someone who loves having lots of cushions. I love being able to like snuggle myself into the cushions, and I really love the fact that these are actually detachable, so they are like another little cushion that comes with the sofa, which I just think is so lovely. It's got this almost like angled corner, so it sits really snug in there and looks like it's almost like attached within the sofa, which I just think looks so lovely. Another tissue box cover from Neptune. I told you I like to have a lot of tissues around the house. I do think I need to have a little bit of a think of our side tables because they're quite low with this new sofa. So I'm going to have a little look online and see what I think will work really well with this space. I've got another little side table in there, and then these cushions are from a brand that I talk about a lot. It's a really beautiful, very small independent brand called Ultimate Home. They're based in the Cotswolds, and Jasmine, the founder, literally hand makes everything herself. She's absolutely amazing. She has a doggy brand, she's got the furniture brand or like the cushion brand, and she also has a fashion brand. She has the most beautiful dresses as well, which are just stunning. This I absolutely adore. It's like a little woolen sheepy blanket, which I get so many compliments on. I don't think these are available anymore, annoyingly, which is such a shame because I think they were limited edition, but they have so many other gorgeous designs I absolutely adore. I have quite a few Ultimate cushions around the house, in the kitchen, upstairs in our bedroom. I've obviously got my favourite little lamp and my little print that I absolutely adore. That I really love how the like dark wood ties in with like the dark wood of the blinds. I also have to add like a couple of photos and stuff as well. This was actually from our best friend's wedding from last year, which I absolutely adore. And then I've actually switched up this a little bit over here. So I kept this puff. This is the old puff that we had from the old sofa set, and I just think it actually still works. I was really debating whether to get the Sofa Club matching puff that comes with these sofas, but number one, I love the fact that this has storage, and number two, especially with this blanket throw over the top, I feel like you would never know that it's not a part of a matching set. So this is actually something that we picked up in the Isle of Skye when we got engaged. This is a real sheepskin, and it is so soft, it's so incredible. It's from a really famous, I want to say kind of factory shop in Skye. They're called Skye Skins, and they do the most incredible throws, rugs, blankets. I absolutely adore this, and this is actually like a natural color. Like, this hasn't been dyed. It is a like brown Skye sheep, which I just think is so cool. So I love the fact that we've got that from when we got engaged, and I love how it ties in really well with the fireplace. Eventually we would love to do like a big surround. We would love to do a proper log burner in there. There used to be a log burner, and it's so gutting to know that the previous owners ripped it out. So we're going to reinstall that back in one day. And then I've actually just moved this console table. So that used to be over on this side, and I've just moved it over here and styled it up a little bit. We've got our Wi-Fi box there, a little lamp, which I absolutely adore. This is a Zara home lamp. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, I'll leave it linked down below. It looks so expensive. In fact, I think Danielle might also do a dupe of this. Maybe I'll leave that one linked down below instead. A gorgeous little olive tree from Ochre. And then, as you can see, I've started styling up the shelves. I've not finished them yet, just because I feel like they're a little bit incomplete. I feel like I need a little bit more titivating. I need a little bit more pottering. So I've just added a few like books, a couple of little terracotta pots. This I absolutely adore. This is actually a sandstone ball that my mum brought back from the Grand Canyon. I mean, it was a shop at the Grand Canyon. She didn't just steal a ball from the bottom of the Grand Canyon, but I absolutely love having pieces that are a little bit more special. That's why I also love having this. This is a beautiful, I don't know what to call her, like a little statue that I used to have at my granny's. It was my granny's ornament. Is that what you would call this? I don't really know. Anyway, she's beautiful. I absolutely adore her. So I love the fact that I have kind of inherited her from my granny, and I love how she looks on the shelves, but they are looking a little bit incomplete. And I do actually have a new delivery arrive of a couple of bits that I feel like might be perfect in this little corner of the shelves. So let's unbox those. Do you know what is actually so funny is that I actually placed this home order before I placed the order for the sofas. That is how quickly they came, literally in a matter of days. It still blows my mind. But as you can see, I have placed a little SEZANE home order, which I am really excited about. SEZANE now officially have like a home section on their website, which I feel like I've just been waiting for the longest time. I have been shouting from the rooftops about SEZANE home for the longest time. I have a few of their lamps in my home, which I absolutely adore, a couple of their cushions, their throws. I feel like they just do the most beautiful homeware pieces, and they now officially have a homeware section on their website. So I'm going to link it down below, but I'm gonna do it cautiously, and I'm gonna apologize in advance to your bank accounts because it is beautiful. They have so many gorgeous pieces. So let me show you what I picked up. I always just love the packaging of the homeware pieces as well. Honestly, it is a dangerous thing when your love for a fashion brand starts to merge and evolve into a little bit more than that. I'm actually wearing a SEZANE shirt right now, and as much as I love the new Holland Cooper one that I picked up, I will say it definitely creases a little bit easier than the SEZANE one. And just in terms of like ease and not having to iron as much, I quite like the fact I can wear the SEZANE one a couple of times before it needs like another iron. So I've been wearing that today. But this I'm actually thinking is going to be perfect to style up on my shelves. I'm hoping it's gonna fit, because they are quite narrow shelves, but looking, I think that might just about fit. Oh my goodness, how do I get this out? This is so much better than I thought it was going to be. So much more beautiful than I actually imagined. I didn't realize that this is like a wooden box, but the most beautiful little trinket box. Now this does come in a set, and I was this close to ordering every single piece from the set, but I did restrain myself. I did tell myself to take it out of my basket because I feel like that's maybe a little bit overkill, but they do have a really beautiful little tray. And then I also believe, I think, an ashtray kind of variation of this, but I love the design. Can you see that? It's like this really gorgeous, almost like ivory kind of wood with this stunning green diamond print on it. I mean, how beautiful is that? And you can obviously open the lid and oh my gosh, the mango wood on the inside, that is so stunning. So you can keep something really special in here. You could keep jewelry in here if you wanted to. Oh my gosh, it even has the SEZANE logo underneath Le Composant, which is like the kind of like homeware lifestyle brand. I love the fact that they've like expanded. They've obviously got the October edition for the men's fashion, and then Le Composant is like their homeware pieces. But oh wow, that is beautiful. And I'm thinking that could work perfectly up on the shelves. I love the fact that the design runs obviously over to the side as well as over the top. That is beautiful. We then have something for the kitchen, and I feel like I've spoken a lot about how much we adore hosting, and it's so funny because I feel like every season is hosting season. In summer we were hosting loads in the garden, we had barbecues, we had family round, but as soon as it gets to like autumn, winter, I feel like that is the season for cozy hosting. When you do dinner parties with your friends, you have a family round for movie nights and games nights. It's always just my favorite. And when I saw these beautiful plates on SEZANE, I could not have added them into my basket any quicker. How stunning are those? Those are the kind of plates that I actually would not be against literally using as display. But one thing that I have definitely noticed is what I feel like I go through the quickest is these kind of like smaller, more like dessert plates, because I find we use them a lot for starters if people are just doing like picky bits and olives and dips and breads and things like that. And then we also use them for pudding, for cakes and for puddings and desserts and things like that. And I really love having an eclectic mix of crockery. It's something that I feel like you really need to collect over the years. It's not something that happens quickly, but we already have a little bit of an eclectic mix of crockery anyway, from like some old crockery that we had. Things get chipped, things get broken, and so you kind of like bring in old pieces, add some new pieces, and I really want to create just a really eclectic mix of so many different styles of crockery. So I really love the fact that this is a set of 4 plates. So I feel like that's like a really nice kind of set in itself. So you could obviously do them as like 4 plates together if you wanted to, or you can literally mix and match with what you already have in your collection. I really love the size of them as well. I feel like they're a really nice size. They're not too big, they're not too small, but this is like an entire set that they do on SEZANE. They have so many different types of crockery in this. I believe they do bowls, I believe they do like dinner plates. I feel like this would be beautiful in a mug as well. I wonder if they do it as a mug, but I really love the blue print on it. I feel like in the living room, I'm all about the greens and the browns and the earthy tones. But in the kitchen, I'm a little bit more about those almost like Nancy Meyers blues. I really, really like them, but I just thought this was a perfect addition to my crockery cupboard, the perfect addition to my hosting cupboard. I am so, so in love with those. Oh, well, you know what? This poof is handy for more things than one, but what do we think? Oh, it's a little big. Do we think it works? I do quite like it. And before anyone asks, no, I did not measure. I am not the measurer in this relationship. In fact, when it came to the sofas, I literally said to Alex, I have some sofas that I'm gonna add into the living room that I really like. And he was like, have you measured them? And I went, no, I'm sure I'll be fine. He did make me measure afterwards, or at least he measured, just to make sure that they would definitely fit, especially the love seat in the bay. Because to be fair, if that didn't fit in the bay, I don't know what I would have done. But what do we think? It sticks out ever so slightly, but I do quite like that. I think it really works. I love the photo frames that I've got on here. These are from my sister's wedding. I've also got one of my favorite reed diffusers. This is Portofino from the White Company, and honestly, oh, it just smells so good. It's so fresh, and I'm hoping to kind of like use up the rest of that before the end of autumn, because I feel like once we hit maybe like October, November time, we're going to want the festive sense. I then also have this little Highland coup, which I absolutely adore. I feel like when it comes to shelf styling, having pieces that are so special, that are memories, I mean items that like my mum's brought back from America that I picked up in like little antique stores and things like that, I absolutely love. So a little sleepy Highland coot there, I quite like that. I think that works. What do you think? Okay, I felt like it was maybe a little bit too much with the urn and the trinket box, so I've just taken the urn away. I've moved the photo frame over a little bit, and I really like how that looks. It does jut over ever so slightly over the edge, but you know what, I think that's fine. I think it still works, and I really love that kind of like ivory tone on the shelf with the like green diamonds. I just think that is so, so beautiful. I quite like how minimal the shelves look, so I've actually just swapped the urn over to this side, and I think that really works well. I feel like there's maybe a little gap here. I don't know what to put there. Maybe a small box, maybe a couple of books. Let me know. I don't want to make the mistake of filling it too quickly or filling it with the wrong thing. I feel like it's taking me so long to like curate these pieces. I feel like that's annoying me that that's a little bit off center. Let me just shuffle that over a little bit. Oh gosh, that's such a stretch up for me. There we go, that's a little bit better. So yeah, I feel like maybe just one more thing down there, a candle or something. Let me know your thoughts or if we like it as it is. But this one I think works really, really well. I can often fall down the trap of almost like putting too many things in. I like having an eclectic mix. I like having a lot of stuff, but sometimes it can look a little bit too cluttered. So I'm really trying to avoid that, to fill the room, to style the room, but not clutter the room. So I've just been putting away the SEZANE plates, and I have to say I think they are the perfect addition into my crockery cupboard. In fact, I didn't actually quite realise how similar they are to a couple of plates I already had in my collection, my more eclectic plates, because look at that. Does that not literally look like it could be part of a matching set? I am so in love. It looks like they've come from a set, like they're deliberately mix matching. I love this one. This is actually one that I got in a PR parcel, which is super random, I know, but sometimes you get the most random things in PR parcels, and they're always like your favorite pieces in your home that you can't ever link, you can't ever, you know, recommend where to get it from, because this just says at the back, and K Amsterdam. I have no idea what the brand is, but I love the lemons on it. I love the blue trim, and one of my other favorites that I always get so many compliments on whenever guests come around and get to use this plate is another Ulta Me Home piece. The most beautiful little plate. It's got a little hot air balloon. She does a couple of these kinds of styles. She does another one with a teddy bear on, which I just think would be adorable if you had kids. So those are going straight in the cupboard, and I'm not gonna lie, now that the living room is done, the transformation has transformed, and it is feeling so cozy in there. I don't expect to leave from now up until spring. I'm gonna be in full hibernation mode, especially because Alex and I have actually discovered a new TV show which we have fallen in love with. If you are looking for something new to watch and you like The Traitors, this is very Traitors-esque. It's called The Inheritance. It's over on All 4, so you've got the ads, which is a little bit annoying, but it's hosted by Elizabeth Hurley and Robert Rinder, who's kind of like the UK version of like Judge Judy. And it's basically kind of similar to Traitors in the sense of like you do like challenges and activities and things like that during the day, but in the evening, instead of, you know, having to like accuse your fellow contestants and things, you actually need to like get them on your side, and you have to convince your fellow contestants to make you the beneficiary so that you get the money from the inheritance from that day that you had like collected from the challenge. And then you can decide whether to share the money, whether to keep the money, and no one really knows what you have chosen to do. So there's a lot of mind games involved, but it's a lot more obviously like friendly and kind of really emphasizes camaraderie against like the traitors. So it's a really, really good watch. We're only 2 episodes in and I am hooked already. So if you're looking for something new to watch, in fact, if you got to the end of this video, comment down below what you are watching right now, because I feel like it's really tricky to find like a good new TV show to get into, and especially now that the evenings are drawing in, I need to get myself a list of good TV shows to watch, good things to add to my radar. So comment down below what you're watching at the moment, and I'm going to leave this vlog here. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing the transformation in the living room, all of the interior updates, and I apologize in advance to your bank accounts with the new news of SEZANE Home being officially a part of the website. It is dangerous, I'm not going to lie, but I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.